Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion movie review. It had to be done, didn't it? Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina. I am your ghost host, and I make bookish content here on this channel every week, and then movie reviews just like this one. All of my movie reviews are spoiler free, and I will leave a playlist of my recent reviews linked up above. I was so nervous going in to see this film. I was excited and nervous, and I'm kind of glad I didn't see it like opening weekend. I waited until the Thursday, so it'd been out basically a week to go and see it. Just because I was so like, I'm really excited because it looks great and there's all these people in it that I like to watch at the cinema, and it's a new movie of my favourite ride, but at the same time, it's my favourite ride. Are they going to ruin it? So I had these really mixed emotions going into it. First of all, it is completely different from the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion movie, which I really wasn't that impressed with. Up until that point, I've been like, right, if I'm going to watch a Haunted Mansion movie, Muppets Haunted Mansion, loved that one. I will leave my review of that one linked up above because I really, really did enjoy the Muppets Haunted Mansion. I've watched it again. I've shown it to my class. It's just a good time. You go through the ride. John Stamos is there. It's a whole thing. So yeah, I was really nervous going into this one, but yeah, it's completely different. And if you are a fan of the ride, there are plenty of like nods to the ride, exact lines from the ride, Easter eggs from the ride, and it takes you through basically ish in the order of the ride as well. So you kind of have your kind of main rooms, you're stepping into the Haunted Mansion, your stretching room elements, your kind of corridor with your clock with the 13 that goes round and round. And there's even kind of a bit of a nod to your doom buggy where it kind of turns and tips you backwards and tips you outside, which is really fun. Again, I'm not going to tell you what part that is, but there's like a moment where it's like turn, tip, outside. Like, oh, that's just like the ride. That's cool. And then, yeah, we've got some grim grinning ghosts playing in and out and round and about. And yeah, obviously we have Jamie Lee Curtis playing Madame Leota, which I was like, is that going to be really good or is it going to be really bad? And I thought Jamie Lee Curtis did a great Madame Leota. Like, I just sort of want to go back and watch her bits again because I thought she did a really good job. However, if you are not a fan of the ride and you're just going into this and like, oh, it looks like a fun Disney movie, it has a story in its own right as well. And it has Owen Wilson and Danny DeVito and Tiffany Haddish and Jamie Lee Curtis, and it's just... It's a fun, fully formed story from start to finish. And it does give you a real background and insight into the Hatbox Ghost. And ironically enough, the Hatbox Ghost has returned to the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland in California, and is about to be put in the Haunted Mansion in Disney World in Florida. And so it's like, oh, you know, getting you all excited for that as well. Randomly, the Hatbox Ghost is played by Jared Leto. And I'm like, I do not kind of like recognise that voicing as Jared Leto at all, which is really interesting. But yeah, in terms of the scare factor, because the Haunted Mansion ride itself is a mixture of scary and funny. And that was like always the intention. Yes, I did go back and watch Behind the Attraction Haunted Mansion again recently. But the movie, I think, is that mix of scary and funny. Like, I definitely laughed out loud, and there were some people sat next to me who admired my Haunted Mansion shirt that I was wearing. I was wearing my Stretching Room Haunted Mansion shirt and my hoodie. I thought the glow-in-the-dark spirit jersey and the ears would probably not be the best for a cinema on a Thursday night. I think I made the right call there. But yeah, there were definitely points where you laugh, and then there was points where I was sat there going, oh, it's that bit of the ride, or oh, that's really funny, that bit, or oh, look, there's the Donald Duck chair. So yeah, it was it was that balance of funny and scary. But there were a couple of moments where I was like, oh, you kind of, when there's going to be a jump scare coming, and you kind of like, I don't want to look. So if you are taking younger children to go and see this, just know there are some bits where I was a little bit like, oh, this is scary, horror filmy type of thing. But then there were also parts where I laughed. And the sort of main protagonist of the film is, the premise is that Rosario Dawson and her son go and move into the Haunted Mansion in New Orleans. And so the main kind of like character is a 9-year-old boy, and so that if the character is a 9-year-old boy, it's not going to be too scary because he's seeing all these things and he's going into all these situations, and they wouldn't put him in that situation. Disney wouldn't anyway. Other people might, we don't know. But yeah, and then Tiffany Haddish normally annoys me in films, but she wasn't too bad in this one. She's normally just a little bit too over the top for me. But in this one, I could take her, and I thought that she was kind of toned down a little bit by the fact that she was there with, like, Jamie Lee Curtis and Owen Wilson. Like, that's, going to tone her down a little bit. But yeah, I just thought it was really good. And the fact that it's set in New Orleans, the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland is in New Orleans Square, means that we get this great soundtrack and this kind of like cool, like southern New Orleans vibe going through the film. And we do come out of the Haunted Mansion a few times as well, which I thought was quite nice, because I think if you were constantly in there, you kind of constantly be like looking for the ghosts and waiting for things to happen. It's definitely something that I would like to go and see again, because I'm sure there's some Easter eggs that I definitely missed. And I think I would like to go and see it again so I could kind of like piece together the story of the Hatbox Ghost a little bit more, rather than like going, oh, there's that bit of the ride, oh, there's that bit of the ride, and oh, I'm looking for this particular character, and just kind of like be at one with the story. However, I am hoping that it's going to be shown in the movie theatre on my Disney cruise, which I will be on this time next week. So I'm just hoping that I can go and see it again on a Disney ship. The years will come with me. Will the Spirit Jersey come with me? I don't know. It might be a little bit too warm, but then it's going to be air conditioned. Who knows? But yeah, should you pay your cinema going money to go and see this one? I think you should. I was, as I say, worried going into this because I'm such a big fan. It's my joint favourite ride along with Small World. And so I was like, ooh. But I think it did it justice. I think if you are a big fan of the ride, it was great. And it was great to sort of see a bit more about the Hatbox Ghost and kind of listen to his backstory, his Disney approved backstory. And I think that it's something that you could take all the family to go and see, whether they are a fan of the ride or not. I think it's a good, fully told story, and you don't have to know the ins and outs of the ride to appreciate the story. And I think it's a good cast. I think it's a good setting. There's good music. It was just a good time, and I would like to go and see it again. So yeah, with that being said, as always, if there is a particular movie you would like me to go and watch this week before I get on my cruise and bring my thoughts to you here next weekend, then do let me know in comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you've seen Haunted Mansion. Let me know if you are as big of a fan of the Muppets Haunted Mansion as I am. And I will be back with more bookish content in the week, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on that. And with another movie review for you next weekend, so make sure you are subscribed. I will see you with my next video. Thanks so much for watching.